Welcome to the Daily Dish with Leanne Ely. This is a show about you, your life, and the vibrancy you want. Join us for daily motivation, wise women's tips, and more as we collectively gather together and move the needle in our lives, heart, mind, body, and soul. Now, here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
It's time. Hello, lovelies. How are y'all today? It's Wise Women's Wednesday, and all the wise... Oh, hold on. I can't see anything. All the wise women rolling on in. Catherine, Helen, Noreen is in the house. Jackie, Doris, Lisa, Patsy. Hello. Hi, Corliss. So good to have you here. Gracie, I'm delighted to see you. And Amber, of course, Jenny, and our lovely Lindsay is all in the house. And so are you. And you're smart because it is Wise Women's Wednesday. And you know, things come down on Wise Women's Wednesday. Julie knows it. Juanita knows it. So does Beth and Jeanette. That's why they're hanging out. Are you? Anyway, we have got so many great things going on. This whole week, we're talking about staying in the high vibe frequency. Yeah, it sounds woo-woo. And maybe you're just going, what happened to you, Leanne? Listen, I want you to hear this show today and understand what this is all about, because absolutely everything from this pencil to my noggin has a vibe. And we're going to be talking about that just a little bit more. Francesca, so good to see you. Alice and Jane. Sue is here. You know what that means. We're getting ready for a party. Here's our quote of the week, which I just think is going to light you up. Joanne loves this one. She's already told me she does. Hi, Nancy. Look at it. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. This is a Joseph Campbell quote. One of my very top, very, very favorite ones. It's a really good one to meditate on and think about. What cave am I scared to enter? What is this saying for me in my life? Because it applies to all of us. It honestly does. Lisa's here. Good to have you. Jocelyn is in the house. Isn't this so fun? Denise, hello. I'm glad you're here. So, cheers, by the way. I'm going to my last of my hot milk. I'm back on schedule, finally getting myself dialed back into the full fast. You know, I haven't broken my fast yet. Anybody else? Anybody else wait till after the show to break your fast? It really works. Anyway, we have a great show today, and I'm super excited about it. Yesterday, I announced that we have our first in-person in like 2 years. I guess maybe even 3, isn't it? It is our in-person full bloom. It's happening on July 29th for the VIP day. Or is that? No, July 29th is the Saturday. Actually, it's really happening on the 28th for the VIP meet and greet. You're going to be on the boat, doing all kinds of stuff. You're not going to want to miss that. July 29th for the entire day. Every need that you have is taken care of. We'll feed you smoothies, a steak dinner at night. I mean, it's going to be epic, off the hook. Boom. And then for those of you who are still hanging out, you know, Mark's going to fix a little brunch for us at my house, all at my house. Check it out, and we will, well, you can't check it out, but July 29th is a Friday. Thank you, Jenny. Somebody, you know, if Jenny wasn't here, Jenny's got the magic, remember? Magical Jenny. She even has the dates. I'm so excited too, Beth. I hope you're going to be here. Lucy's in the house. Hi, Kathy. I learned how to pronounce Kathy's last name last night. So, by the way, I just got my text. I just got my saving dinner text. Did you get yours this morning? Absolutely hilarious. All I can tell you is if you like meatballs, it's National Meatball Day. There might be a little something in that text for you. And check out the smile, in the eyes, on that meatball. It might look familiar, if you know what I'm saying. All right, you need to be a part of this because we always send out great deals. They're a lot of fun. Our text messages make everyone absolutely laugh, smile, and enjoy a really good deal. Check it out at 855. You have to do this on your text messages. Okay, get your phone out. Text the word join all in caps to this phone number, 855-960-3720, and watch for we will text you back immediately, and it will ask you a question to clarify that you want to do this, and you reply the way they tell you to. It's either a Y or a yes or an N or a no. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And then guess what? You're in like Flynn, and you will get all that fun stuff. It's going to be so much fun. Juanita, yes, we will have a virtual for those who cannot be here. We're working on, let me just say that preliminarily, we're saying, yes, of course we are. Yes, of course we are. Jenny's already worked on all the audio part of it. Caroline's going to be doing the camera work for the day. Caroline and helping me. She's going to be, listen, she's going to be amazing. She's going to get everything done. It's going to be so much fun. Lisa, I love that you love my meatballs. Actually, I didn't do that. Amber did it. Funny story that goes with it, just really quick. If anybody saw Saturday Night Live, this last Saturday night, they had a funny sketch that was kind of weird but funny of this woman dating a man who was hiding a meatball hanging off of her neck that sang. Did you see it? And she had meatballs all over her. And then it's National Meatball Day today. It really is. Honest to God, it's National Meatball Day. And Amber sends me this little graphic that she'd made up, and she said, "What do you think of this one?" And I immediately started laughing because it had the waving arm. Well, you'll see. And she had not seen the sketch, so I sent it, of course, to her because that is just a little bit of synchronicity right there, in the form of a meatball. Why not? Anyway, speaking of full bloom, we also have our regular virtual full bloom is coming up, which is all you have to do is park it in your fuzzy slippers and have a pencil and paper and get ready to have an incredible day. And that is happening. This is happening. Save your date, April 23rd. That's, of course, on a Saturday. And we moved it. We were on 16th, and we realized that's Easter week. That doesn't work. So we moved it to the 23rd, Saturday the 23rd. Just mark that on your calendar. Details are coming. We're working on all this stuff right now, as you can well imagine. It's going to be something. It's going to be something, and I'm super excited for it. Let's see. What else do I have to tell you about? The last thing that I have to tell you about, well, last two things. First of all, Sprint's coming up on Monday. Are you ready for that? Are you going to play full out? Are you going to join us? It's really easy to get a replay of Tuesdays, not last night's. We did the webinar on Tuesday, or on Monday, Monday's webinar, and that is at savingdinner.com/sprint. And by the way, there's new information there that's going to be super helpful for you. Plus, all the things that you need to make a successful sprint will be there. It's just filled with goodies, okay? And it's all free. savingdinner.com/sprint. What do you think? This is the time. This is the time. Also, what else do we have? Oh, on the 17th, Thursday the 17th, we're doing a webinar on the Hot Milk 30. I'm going to introduce you to the whole concept of Hot Milk 30, what it's about, and if you even want to go there. I'm just saying, it's going to be phenomenal. That's on savingdinner.com/30. So get on that. You can start making you can make your reservation right now. It's right there. savingdinner.com/30. Okay. And you could either write 30 out, or you can write 30. Yes, on St. Patty's Day. And that's funny, Debbie, that you said that, because I said to Jenny, I wonder if we should do this on St. Patrick's Day. And then I thought, none of our gals are going to be going to a bar drinking a bunch of green beer. That's not our demographic. They're not those women. So even if you're having corned beef and cabbage that day, have that for dinner and then come sit down if you live on the East Coast and get on our webinar. If you can't make it, that's okay. Just sign up anyway. We'll send you the replay. Okay. See, I told you, Debbie. I knew she'd laugh on that one. Anyway, it's going to be fun, and I really want you there because a Hot Milk 30 takes it the next step beyond the up level from the Hot Milk Sprint. In my opinion, the Hot Milk Sprint is just introducing you to this idea that we can live an intuitive eating lifestyle without the restriction of all the diet culture garbage because we're getting off the carousel of crazy forever. Amen. You see what Margot said? Isn't there a bar out there that serves hot milk? I sure hope so, because my hot milk's got vodka in it. Not really, but I just want to throw that out there. And yes, one more thing. We do have the special of the week. By the way, it's sleep aids. It's one of my favorites. If you buy 3, we're going to give you the 4th one absolutely free. Get on this. This is our own proprietary formula. No one has this except us. And it checks all the boxes. If you go to sleep too early, we've got something. Or if you go to sleep right away and then wake up in the middle of the night, we got a little something in there for you for that. If you have a hard time going to sleep, it's in there too. If your mind is going wacko doodle and you're just keeping up with staying up all night with your thoughts, there's something in there for you too. This is an exclusive proprietary formulation. It's ours. Buy 3, get 1 free. I don't go to bed without this. This is on my evening warm up roundup every single day. There you go. Ta-da. And last but not least, thank you, Jenny. Got a question? All you got to do is send it in to support@savingdinner.com. Question for Leanne on Friday. And there you are. That's it. Right there in the subject line and your question in the body of the email. And it'll get put in my queue. And there you are. What do you think? Good idea? Let's do it. Gloria, hi. Good to have you. All right. We've done all that. I'm excited about today. I'm just going to tell you, because all this week we've been talking about living a high vibe life. We've been talking about what that is and how to really get into it. Today we're going to talk about more nuts and bolts of having a high vibe, and why. I'm just going to mention too, we're not going new age on you and going out into woo-woo land and completely losing it into the cosmic zone where you're going to have to like do an intervention on me and say, Leanne, come back. It's not that way at all. Hey, Vanessa, you know what it is? Is this where I am? You know what it is? I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. It's all about understanding how you were fearfully and wonderfully made by the Creator himself, and how everything else on this planet is fearfully and wonderfully made as well. You know, it's by design. And when we understand how things are by design, we can go and get to that place of living in the higher of that design. What do you think of that? That just lights me up. I don't know about you. So we're talking about high vibes, we're talking about low vibes, but really what we're talking about is frequency, right? Frequency, because this is something that we can certainly understand, at least for me and anyone who's ever been having to tune in a radio, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when we live in the mountains, you know that, and where we are is pretty much at kind of midway, maybe a little bit higher. We're about 3,200 feet where we are. And at this level, this altitude, we get in the car, you turn on the radio station, right? And we like to listen to a lot of oldies, and it's great until you start getting somewhat further down. Then all of a sudden you start getting a little bit of static as you go around the curves, back and forth and back and forth. And as you get to another place, all of a sudden, just like that, the station changes. It's annoying. You might be in the middle of rocking out to, a little Queen or Bon Jovi or something. And what's this? Suddenly you're getting walloped upside the head with, I don't know, some country Western stuff. And that's not what I was tuned into, but that's what I ended up with, right? So that's how I've noticed that with myself too. Exactly. This is exactly what it is. When I'm all high vibing and everything's going well, and I'm just like tuned in, I can feel it. I can feel that high vibe. I can feel it. Then something happens. There's a circumstance, I get an wretched email, or suddenly there's this scramble aboard that we need to fix something, or, the garage door. Mark had to fix the garage door. I mean, thank God I live, my husband is a very handy man. He bought a $20 part off of Amazon and fixed it himself. That would have cost a ton. So, stuff happens, and boy, oh boy, doesn't your frequency just go boom, it hits the wall. Well, first of all, you start getting a little staticky. You were all high tuned in there. You got it. You were on it. It was all a part of who you were. And then suddenly it's just like, bam, not anymore. And as a matter of fact, you get turned into the wrong vibe, just like that radio station. Why does this happen? Have you ever considered that? Have you ever thought, well, why does this happen? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly why this happens. And it's because we pick up on the frequency and we absorb them in, much like our radio station picks up the frequency going down the hill. And at first it's staticky, and then all of a sudden it's just something completely different. So here's a little anatomy of how this works in my life. And I bet you've got your own stories, right? First is I allow the downer vibes in. I allow them to come in, and I allow them to affect me, and I allow them to make me feel a little worse for the wear, shall we say? A little worse for the wear. And it's one step worse than that, though, because it's not only am I feeling this way, it's as if somebody, a stranger, has knocked on my door unwelcomed, they were not, I was not expecting them. And I open the door and I let them in, and I start entertaining them. As a matter of fact, I say, would you like something to drink? Have a seat on my couch, turn on some music. Maybe it's just going to have a good time. And I, just like they're guests in my home. Now let's remember this, just like they're guests in my home, but they're unwelcome. I did not ask for them to come knocking at my door, but here I go, and just opening the door, letting them in, sitting them down on my couch, making them comfortable so they want to stay. And then what did they do? They robbed me blind. In my own home, they rob me blind, and they steal the joy from me, and leaving me with little to nothing but old familiar feelings, old familiar emotions, old familiar thoughts, and a great big fat dose of defeatism. Anyone relate to that? Anyone? Pinkies up if this sounds like something you may have experienced yourself. So we need to look at this from the perspective. Let's go back to the radio analogy here, right? To get the station that you want to get tuned in to the frequency, you got to make sure that you're aligned with it. The station is emitting the frequency. Are you picking it up? Is the question. Are you dialing it in? Is the question. What about that? So that is that was something that just absolutely walloped me. But you know what it is too? And everybody knows this when you're traveling cross country and you don't have the XM radio or whatever, and you're dependent on all these frequencies as you're going along. You're waiting for that frequency match for your car radio and for whatever's coming out so that you can get something. And every once in a while, there's some place in the country where you're driving and you're going, I can't get anything, there's not a whole lot of anything going on. Well, that's exactly how we are. And this vibrational match that I'm talking about, really, it's an energetic match. It's a frequency match, is all about the dialing in. And everything, as you remember, everything has its own vibe. My pencil has a vibe. My shoes have vibes. My skin has a vibe. I showed you how to find your own vibe. Do you remember this on Monday when we did that exercise of feeling our own vibes when we put our hands together after rubbing them? It's energy. The bricks to your house have a vibe. So finding your chosen vibe and harnessing it is much like finding your taste in music, right? If you like country music, you're not going to be listening to hip hop, are you? No, that's not going to be the station of your choice. And vice versa, if you like jazz or classical rock, you're going to look for that station. You're going to keep going and going and going until you get that station, right? Until you get that station on your radio, you're not going to be happy, because that's the vibe. That's what you're seeking. That's what you're seeking. So I just want you to understand this, that finding your chosen vibe is all about your choice, going after that. So, and just like when you land on the station that you like and you've got that music going, if you all of a sudden another song pops up and you don't like it, what do? You change the station, right? Because you're like, now I can't listen to Neil Diamond sing Sweet Caroline one more time. Just can't, even though I sang that to my daughter when I was pregnant with her many times, because her name is Caroline. It's like, oh, Sweet Caroline, here we go. No, not going to listen to it. What else do we have? How about, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen? I'll listen to that one. There you go. So let's just talk about now. Let's just go back down to where we are as people trying to live this high vibe life. How do we do this? How does this all work? Well, first of all, understand, number one, this is so good. Yes, it is quantum physics. Exactly, Vanessa. It is. That's why I think this is so fascinating. And I just bought a book. Oh boy, Unlocking something. It's by my friend Srini Pillai, who absolutely adore. And he's a quantum physicist and psychologist, PhD, and he's just brilliant. He teaches at Harvard. And actually that's what his whole thing is about, is meshing all of this stuff together. And it's just absolutely wild. But the thing is, and this is the point, you attract what you think about, what you talk about, what you're emoting over. So like, for example, when we're saying, I don't have time, what you're emoting out, what you're putting out in the world is scarcity and lack. I don't have time. Well, by goodness, you will not find the time then. It will not happen for you. Something will happen, because remember, it's part of the reticular activating system. And this is the vibe that we're putting out there. But if we flip it around and we stop that habit, because really, when I don't have time, what does that mean? That's just habitual. That's something that we say when we're maybe a little overwhelmed with the situation that's going on. Oh, I just don't have time. I don't have time. How many times do we say that over the course of a week? Think about that. But honestly, if we change and flip the script and start with this and start saying, instead, I am finding time for my priorities, what does that do? It puts us in alignment. It puts us in the frequency of what it opens up possibility. That doesn't mean that suddenly your time you have 28 hours in the day and everybody else has 24. You still have the same time. It's just the alignment and the frequency of how this is all going to work changes, and how things can tuck in and how things can get done and how you can straighten out the way you think. It changes your closed downness to openness and possibility. It's incredible. And that's not denying that you've got a lot going on. It's just flipping the script to open the door to possibility. That's a higher vibe way of doing it. Number two is tuning into high vibes creates the contrast. I love a good contrast, because you can feel low vibeness, can't you? You know what it feels like to feel low vibe. You know what it's like. And you also know what high vibeness feels like. Contrast that and just look at it for what it is. It's sort of the pro-con list that I oftentimes promote. It's the this versus that. It's thinking in different terms. It's looking at, oh, it could be this, or oh, it could be that. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal, because your brain recognizes that. That's an immediate thing. When we have babies, do you remember? Well, at least when I had babies in the early 90s, Caroline was born in 1990 and Peter was in 91, they promoted black and white toys for babies because the contrast was something they could pick up early on. We're wired like this from birth. Contrast. We need contrast. And when we see contrast, that's when the ahas start to happen. And that's when we start, that's so low vibe. I'm choosing this because it's high vibe and it feels better. Number 3 is allow your positive, abundant emotions to be your guide. Now, can I just say this and tell me if I'm wrong? And pinkies up if you agree with me, by the way. We have inadvertently for years trained our negativity into being an expert. We don't have to tell ourselves how to be negative, but we do have to tell ourselves how to be positive because the negativity just comes. We are, unfortunately, that's the thing that we look for because our amygdala is trying to run the show. Our amygdala is trying to say, risky, risky, danger, danger. But what about this? We allow our negativity to run the show because we've given the mantle of expertise to our negativity. That to me is just a mind blower. That just blows my mind. But guess what? We can say, you know what, but I have these positive emotions. Maybe they're not well developed, but I have them. What if they ran the show instead? What if they were the ones that were abundant over the negative ones? So we can train up our high vibes. We sure can. We can train them up and high five them and feel good about them. We see them, we experience them. We can just high five ourselves. We can talk about it. And remember how powerful your name is? You say, Leanne, good job. Use your name. Your brain, that's the first thing your brain recognizes. You know that going into a crowded room and you hear your name, you're looking around, who's talking about me? You hear that, but you don't hear them say toaster oven, do you? You're not like, oh, somebody said toaster oven. No, you hear your name. So what if you did that? What if you started doing that instead of allowing for and rolling around in? Talk about high vibe. That's cool. And number 4 is that you need to create the fertile soil to plant this seed of possibility or the seeds of possibility by nurturing yourself through self-care. Self-care isn't just this glamorous, like I'm going to go have a manicure and a pedicure, which by the way, I do have manicures and pedicures and I keep them on the regular. Jenny in her wisdom, magical Jenny, you know her, right? She has hers on it. I'm telling you all your secrets, Jenny. She puts her stuff on the calendar all throughout the year. She books it in advance so she never has to. That's a high vibe. That's smart. That's saying I am coming into the equation. I am part of the priorities, and so much so that I am scheduling this stuff all the way to December. Smart. That's how it gets done. And that's how you take care of yourself. And I'm not just talking about appointments, but appointments for yourself, appointments for taking care of the food that you're eating so that you have all that high vibe food at your fingertips, that you have meditation and prayer time scheduled out just for you as much as you can or as little as time as you have. It still doesn't matter. The fact that you show up for it is saying something, and it's all high vibe. Journaling, and sometimes journaling, you could just say, screw this day. I mean, seriously, I've done that before. All in caps, one whole page. It was that crappy of a day. But so what? Guess what? I took it out. It came, the negativity was in here, and now it's sitting on a page somewhere. And then I get to turn the page, and it's done, right? I don't need to roll around in it. I just need to get it out. It needs to go somewhere. It needs an outlet. And also, you need to journal and chronicle and celebrate the high points in your life. Today, I had a choice, and I made this choice, and it was hard, but I did it anyway, and I'm so proud of myself. Don't allow that to be part of your short-term memory and gone. Chronicle it. Put it in memorial in your journal, and let's start celebrating those things. You see how this all works? We get rid of the stuff that we need to, dump it out, and we celebrate the stuff that we need to. And then you know what I do? I go through, and when I put something that is just important that I might need to come back and look at, I put one of these little stickers on here, right? It flags the page. Because when I'm feeling down, it happens to everybody, by the way. When I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling defeated, when I'm feeling like I'm on the brink of tears, everything's going wrong, what next? I go to my journal, I pick up my journal, and I start reading all those little flags, because in there is a lot of celebration. In there's a lot of high vibe, and I need that back. I need to remember. That's the stuff I want to be remembering, not the garbage. Amen? That's how you get to high vibe. That's how you get out of your funk. Because God, we get into that funk and we just feel like, I feel like somebody ran me over with a steamroller back and forth, just like in the cartoons, you remember? And then Bugs Bunny would pull Elmer Fudd off of the steamroller and he'd be all flat. I have a crazy imagination. And then there's sleep. You vibe when you sleep, and getting no sleep, you can't function. Getting a lot of sleep, too much sleep, I mean, that's just, that's another issue. Most people don't have that problem. But I'm going to tell you what, that sleep, it's everything. And everybody, when you wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day, and just think today is going to be an awesome day, you just set yourself up for high vibes all day long. And then that hydration thing, can I just talk to you about that? Think about what is being dehydrated about. It's dehydrated, taking the water out. It's dry, it's crinkly, right? It's sad. It's beef jerky versus a steak. Don't do that to yourself. Your body needs it. As you hydrate, you're putting electrolytes in there, amen, which is electricity, which is a frequency, which is a vibe, and you are replenishing and loving yourself enough to do this. And not to mention that everything functions better. Your brain functions better. Your kidneys function better. You feel like a queen of your own life. I'm telling you, it's just everything. And then there's movement. Then you get the chemical punch. Dopamine, baby. Dopamine, serotonin, feeling good, endorphins for the win. Am I right? And I'll tell you what, you hear some whooping and some high-fiving coming from my little itsy-bitsy gym that I've created out of one of our spare bedrooms, Lucky us. I mean, we have our place is a 5-bedroom place. It sounds like it's enormous. It's not. It's tiny and chopped up. But, this little office and this little gym, blessed beyond everything. You have no idea how in love with this house I am. Blessed beyond. That's high vibe, by the way. Gratitude. And then we add in, then we go to the place number 5. Number 5, cut the low vibe stuff out. Cut it out. Cut out the low vibe stuff. Why? You know those things. You know what they are. You know exactly what they are. They're just like those unwelcome guests that I talked about earlier, coming into your house, robbing you blind, stealing your joy, and leaving you empty, depressed, and feeling not enough. Am I right? What did low vibes give you? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing coming back from them. They just leave you feeling just like dehydrated all the way through, mentally, physically, spiritually, completely dehydrated. And you can only go so long without being dehydrated before you have to hydrate again. There's no life in dehydration. So practicing high vibes is all about aligning with what you want. You know that? With what you want. Never with what you don't want. And giving your time, attention, and focus to what you don't want is living a low vibe life. And wise women know the difference. Become aware of this. Live in the contrast. See these things and make decisions. I'll do this, but I won't do that. Oh my goodness. Yes to that. No to that. It's that simple. And one last thing that I want to leave you with. Remember this. I am statements are powerful. They move the needle in your life every single way. Keep them in present tense. Don't use negativity with them. So I am living a high vibe life. Not I'm not going to live a low vibe life. I am living a high vibe life is a declaration to your intention of what you plan to do and how you want to live. And it sure turns in that frequency, doesn't it? And I want to just say this to you. Start now with this. Don't put it off. Start now. Go get the notes. Tomorrow morning, the notes for all of this will be in tomorrow's newsletter. for the Daily Dish. You can get it at savingdinner.com. It's really easy to sign up for our newsletter. And these little nuggets are gold. They're going to help you because this is your life we're talking about. You're the one who's getting to live it. And if you want to live it on your terms, then you're going to live a high vibe life. If you allow everything to suck you down and bring you down and stay there, that you're volunteering for that. Okay? Just going to mention it. Volunteer for the high vibe stuff because that is why you were created to live on this earth in the first place, on purpose and for purpose. And it's all about being in high vibe. I love Wise Women's Wednesdays. I hope you do too. Share this if this meant anything to you, and we certainly appreciate it. And I can't wait for tomorrow, transformational or whatever tomorrow is. Oh, we're thirsty tomorrow, right? I'm glad you needed it today. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace be with you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Check back for new episodes. If you missed the live show, you can always watch the replay. You can find Saving Dinner on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, pinkies up.